Welcome to the most epic tutorial you've ever seen. No, I'm just kidding. We're playing the DK Bongos on the PC, baby. So, I am making a video game called Walrus Run. You can play it on Steam and itch.io. It's a 2D platformer. You can play with Bongo controllers. You can also use gamepads if you want to. But this tutorial is going to be about how to set up bongos on PC. This tutorial is mostly going to focus on using Steam input, and it is possible to use other software to set this up. However, this tutorial is not going to cover that because that is way too complicated and I don't really know what I'm doing. So this tutorial is mostly going to focus on setting up Steam input. This method will work on any Steam version of the game you have, whether it's the Steam demo or the actual full game on Steam. And this will also work with the itch.io versions, the full game on itch.io or the itch.io demo. You can add it as a non-Steam game and enable Steam input on those games, alright? And if you're not interested in Walrus Run, I got good news for you. If you follow the steps and you plug in the bongos and remap them, you can use this on literally any game you have on your Steam library. So, you want to play some other game with the bongos, this is the method you'd go about doing it, alright? Awesome. So for this tutorial, there are two things you're going to need. The first is a pair of DK Bongos. By the way, make sure it's an actual first-party pair of DK Bongos, like the end of the plug here. Make sure it's a GameCube plug and not a USB or anything third-party. Just make sure it's a normal pair of DK Bongos, right? But yeah, first thing, obviously, is a pair of bongos. And the second is going to be a GameCube Controller Adapter. This one right here is a first-party adapter. This is probably the one you're most likely to own. This is the one that most players are going to own. I've been having trouble trying to get this one to work on PC. I have seen plenty of other tutorial videos do it, and the process does look easy, but for whatever reason, it's not working for me, which is why I do recommend that you use a Mayflash adapter. It says right here on the top, Mayflash. Okay, this is a third-party adapter, and the difference is that on the back, there is a switch right here. You could switch between console mode and PC mode, and if it's on PC mode, it will make this process so much easier. And by far, I've had the most consistent results with the Mayflash adapter. You can pick it up on Amazon for 20 bucks. It'll give you the best results when trying to use the DK Bongos on the PC, from my experience. So do get yourself a Mayflash adapter if you have problems with the first-party adapter. But if the first-party adapter works fine, then that's cool. So first thing you want to do is plug your adapter into your PC. Make sure you plug in the black port at least. This one will have the data and stuff. This is the important one. The gray one is for controller rumble / vibration, which is something the bongos don't support. And most people don't plug this one in anyway. So just plug in the black one at least. Okay, let's get started. On the Steam launcher, go to the top right, click the Steam button, and open the settings. And on this window here, go to Controller. And before we do anything, let's check these settings real quick. The only thing you need on is enable Steam input for generic controllers, because GameCube adapters are recognized as generic controllers by Steam. So just make sure this, of all these options, this one right here is on. The rest of them, up to you, but generic controller support, make sure this is turned on, okay? And right now, I do not have any adapters plugged in, or any controllers plugged in, so no controllers detected, okay? So what I'm going to do now is plug in the first-party adapter, and we're going to see what happens. Alright, first-party adapter is plugged in, and how it usually works is that after a few seconds, it should pop up here and recognize the adapter, but as you can see, it is not here. So, we're going to have to do something else. We're going to have to install a program called Zadig in order to get Steam to recognize the first-party adapter. So what you want to do is go to this website, zadig.akeo.ie. This webpage right here, I'll be sure to link it as well. And then scroll down a bit and just download the latest version. This one right here is from June 13th. This is good enough. So just click on it. It should install just one application right there on your desktop. And there you go. Alright, so once Zadig is open, you want to click Options and List All Devices. And now, in this big drop down here, this is all your devices. You want to find a GameCube adapter. The first party adapter, I mean. And that's going to be this device right here. WUP-028. Once you find this device, click on it, and then verify that these numbers right here are correct. The USB ID, it should be 057E0337. And right there you can see the Nintendo Co. pop up right there. It's looking pretty correct to me. So once you verify this stuff, go ahead and click the install driver. If it's your first time doing this, it'll say install driver. If it's not your first time doing it, it should say reinstall driver. Sometimes it might even say repair driver. So go ahead and click this button and the process will begin. Now what this will do is it will soft mod the first party adapter so that it works on PC. It will still work perfectly fine on console, so you don't have to worry about messing anything up. And you can always uninstall it too if you want to remove it entirely. So nothing to worry about with Zadig. It's a completely safe program, and it's a pretty quick download too right here. Installation, 5 minutes max, usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes. And once this is done, it should work on Steam. And I'll go ahead and skip forward in time until this process is done. Okay, and after a few minutes, you should see this dialog right here. Driver was installed successfully. Awesome. Click the close button, exit the program, and now the adapter should be working. But like I said, this is the part in the video where it stopped working for me, but maybe it'll work for you. We could verify by going to the control menu again, and there's nothing here. So remember before I had there were 4 controllers in this menu here? That's what you should be seeing right now. But for some reason my adapter's not working. It is like 10 years old, so maybe it just doesn't work on PC anymore. But if you are using your own first party adapter and you follow the steps I've given you, this should work. If not, there are other tutorials and other sources out there that could potentially help you out. But like I said, the Mayflash adapter is by far the easiest to set up, especially after, you know, if you can't get the first party adapter working after a while. I just recommend getting a Mayflash adapter. It will make things a lot easier. Alright, if you followed the previous steps and your first party adapter still isn't working, there is another method we can use. And this involves using applications that aren't related to Steam and not using Steam input at all. So the first thing you want to do actually is open up the task manager and then make sure Steam is closed. I'm going to click on something here, click S, and you can see Steam is nowhere to be seen here, right? So Steam is closed, and we're going to install another application. So application we're going to install is Delfinovin, but I also want to point out this software here. This one does the same thing, but it's a bit older, so I'm not going to recommend it, but you can try this if you want to. It's the Wii U GCN USB-A driver by Massive. I'll link this below, but we'll be using another software, and that is Delfinovin. This software, it converts GameCube inputs to Xbox inputs, basically, which is something Windows can natively read without using Steam input. And this does work on first-party adapters. So if Steam input doesn't work out, this one will work out for sure. So go ahead and click on the newest version, click the download button. Okay, I'm kind of new to GitHub, I'll be honest. I gotta find the download button. Here it is. Download the zip file and throw it on your desktop or right here or something. Alright, so once you download the zip file, go ahead and place it in your folder. I'm gonna put it in this folder here. We can extract it here. And here we go. So you can go ahead and make a shortcut for this. This is for an old version. I'll just go ahead and create a shortcut here. Okay. And now we can boot up the program. Alright. So real quick, I'm going to change the theme just so we can see the, what do you call it? Colors a little better. Like that. Alright. Go ahead and plug in your GameCube controller and your adapter. And once you do, you will see this. You might think this is a problem, but it actually isn't. So what's going on here is that the left stick and the right stick are receiving inputs towards the down left. They're receiving inputs despite using bongos. In fact, I'll turn on my camera to show you. All it's plugged in right now is just these bongos, which do not have left sticks. So the bongos, for some reason, are automatically outputting values to the left and right sticks. But I accounted for this in my game. So once you boot up the game, you'll be thrown into a startup menu where you can choose between bongo mode and controller mode. And on that screen, it will basically ignore any inputs from the left stick as well as the shoulder buttons. So all you have to work with are the face buttons, D-pad, and the shoulder bumper buttons. So basically, when you're playing in bongo mode, the rest of the game will pretty much just ignore all analog stick inputs. It'll still receive them, but it just won't do anything. While Bongo mode is enabled. So, as long as you turn on Bongo mode at the startup menu, this isn't an issue at all. Alright, so we're not quite done yet. What we need to do is actually remap the buttons. So, this is something I will explain in the later part of the video, but essentially, what you want to map these face buttons to are what's on the Xbox controller right here. So, each bongo pad has 4 buttons, right? Lower half, upper half, 4 buttons. And on the GameCube, each of them are mapped to a face button. However, in Delfinovin here, they are the wrong buttons, so we need to swap them around. So basically, this is what the control scheme should look like. A, B, X, Y. But right now, it's looking more like... Okay, if we're talking Microsoft buttons, this is B, A, Y, X. Like, they're flipped. I know the GameCube screen says something different. Don't worry about it. Trust me, they're different. So all you need to do is literally just flip these around in the Delfinovin software here. And how we do that is edit controller settings. So assuming your controller is plugged into the first port, click on the little arrow right here, and then edit controller settings. You can mess with these if you want to, like the range. It doesn't matter since you're not using it, but it doesn't matter. But the one that's important is button mapping, and we're going to be remapping some buttons. So, this is very simple. Just click on the drop down right here for the A button, and select the B button, and then the B button to the A button, X button to the Y button to the X button. Wrong button. Y button to the X button. So, quick recap. A button is on the B button mapped to A, X button mapped to Y, and Y mapped to X. Alright? Save settings, and then, this is important, save profile. And then enter a profile name. So I'll just do this. There we go. And just to be sure it's working, go to profiles, select your new profile, and there you go. Apply the Bongos profile I just made to port 1, which is where the Bongos are currently plugged into. And with that, we should be good to go to boot up the game. So, go ahead and find your game, non-Steam game, I mean, too. So, it's just right here. Maybe it'll be on your desktop or your games folder, wherever you put it. Just go to the application and just launch the exe like this. No Steam launcher or anything like that. Just right from the get-go, like this. Okay. So, as you can see, this is the startup menu I was talking about. You can click on these buttons if you want to, but if you don't want to, you can hold the bongo pad, which we assigned to the face buttons, and hold down for a few seconds till the meter fills up. Or, on controller mode, press any keyboard key, like a spacebar or something. And on a controller, you can also use the D-pad or shoulder buttons if you want to do that too. And like I said before, if we look at the program, it's still outputting to the left stick, but the left stick isn't really outputting anything in the startup menu, so you don't need to worry about it. So just make sure, if you're doing this setup, go click on Bongo mode. I'll just do this just for demonstration. There we go. Okay. So now, the game, let me see, the Bongos do work without Steam open at all. I'll hop into a quick game right here. I think I skipped it. Okay. So as you can see, the bottom left goes left, bottom right goes right, top left dashes left, top right dashes right. They both jump, and there you go. It does indeed work with the Bongos here, without Steam. So that's fantastic. So like I said, with this method, using this software and making sure Steam is off, you could play with the Bongos, with the first-party adapter, without using Steam input. So this option is here if you can't get your hands on a Mayflash adapter and absolutely have to use the first-party adapter. This right here is a solution. Alright, so now I'll show you how to set up the Mayflash adapter, and then we can rebind some controls. So, with the Mayflash adapter, remember to switch on the back of the adapter. You want to set that to PC mode, and once it is, you can go ahead and plug it in. So, I'll plug it in right now. Okay, it is plugged in. Let's give it a few seconds. And there it is. Perfect. Okay. Editor's note. There's a chance that when you plug into Mayflash for the first time, you'll get a different pop-up where you, like, select what kind of controller it is. And that's why it's PS3 for me. I think I chose PS3. And maybe you have to bind your inputs on the spot. So watch out for that and let me know if this does happen, like how easy was it for you to set up, how accurate was this, etc. I'll do what I can to, you know, update or make a pinned comment or something. Yeah, thanks. Now, there is a chance that when you plug in the Mayflash adapter for the first time, Steam won't recognize it at all, like, you know, what happened before in this video. So what you might have to do is install Zadig on the Mayflash adapter as well. Exact same process as as earlier in the video on the first party adapter. List all devices, look for WP028, and install the driver. And if that doesn't work, or you could do that as well as download Mayflash drivers from their website right here. Probably the latest one should be good. Just click the download button, and yeah, that application should be able to, you know, fix the driver. Fix the adapter, hopefully. But I just bought a new Mayflash adapter last month, and out of the box, I plugged it in, and it worked perfectly, even on some other laptops I have. So, chances are you won't have to do this, but if you do, if you plug in the Mayflash adapter and it doesn't work, on PC mode, by the way, then go ahead and install Zadig, as well as maybe some drivers here if you need to do that. So you should see 4 controllers on this tiny little menu here because there's 4 ports of the adapter. Awesome. And go ahead and plug in your bongos, and what you want to do is find which port you plug the bongos into, right? So, very easy to do. Just go through each controller and hit some buttons. The buttons should flash blue if it works, but in this case, nothing. So, not this one. Not this one. That's the second one. This is the third one. Not that one. And the fourth one. This should be the right one. There you go. As you can see, circle. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. This is the right one. So, I plugged in the bongos to the first port on the adapter, so that's going to be the 4th controller right here, okay? And this is important because we can remap the inputs here, okay? So, here's what you do. You click on Setup Device Inputs, and this is the part in the video where you can rebind the controls to literally anything you want, but I'm going to show you my recommended control scheme for my game, Walrus Run, which supports the DK Bongos. I'm going to show you what buttons I recommend you map them to, okay? And what I have here, Xbox controller, and each bongo button here, each bongo pad has 2 buttons, right? Lower half, top half. So that's 4 buttons, 4 face buttons. So we're going to map each bongo button to a face button, and the easy way I like to remember which button is which is grab your controller and tilt it about 45 degrees this way. There you go. So we have the same 4-button layout as the bongo pads here, right? So this is going to be A, B, X, Y. For PlayStation, that'd be X, circle, square, triangle, okay? And then the right trigger is going to be on the microphone. Pay attention to this right trigger value right here. This is a microphone, by the way, so it's going up while I'm talking. But now that I stayed silent for a few seconds, you saw it was at 0. But now check it out when I clap. See that? So you want to bind the microphone to the right trigger and the start button. Big start button right here is your pause button and your menu confirm button as well. Just map the start button on your controller. For Xbox, that'd be whatever this one's called right here. Guide? I don't know what this is. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and remap the inputs. Before I do, make sure you're in a quiet environment with the microphone here because you don't want to bind this to the face button on accident. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and set this up now. Alright, so you want to map the bottom left bongo button to the A button, bottom right to the B button, top left to the X button, and top right to the Y button. And press the A button a few times to skip the inputs, and in our case that's the bottom left button, bongo button. And now when you're on the right trigger, get ready to clap, and then skip the select button, map the start button, skip a few more times, and that's it. Alright, input should be good to go. So this right here, well, the Xbox equivalent anyway, right here would be A, B, X, Y. This is the right trigger, and this start button, okay? bongos are now good to go for Walrus Run. Alright, so now that your controllers are remapped, the next part of the process is to enable Steam input on your selected game. So, I can close this menu now, and then navigate to wherever your game is on the Steam library application here. This game right here is a Steam version of Walrus Run. Maybe it's the final version, maybe it's the Steam demo. But this is a Steam game, not a non-Steam game, an actual Steam game you installed on Steam. Then go ahead and do the following process, okay? Navigate to your Steam game, click on the gear right here, Manage, go to Properties, and under Controller, adjust this setting for Override for blank game, okay? The default setting should be Use Default Settings, which might be okay, but just to be safe, go ahead and switch this to Enable Steam Input, okay? And the controls you just remapped will now work with this game specifically because you enabled Steam Input. So now I'm going to show you how to add a non-Steam game to your library. If you installed the Sage demo off of itch.io, or just bought the whole game on itch.io and want to use Steam Input, then I'm going to show you how you can use Steam Input. So you go to wherever you installed the game. It's in this case, I packaged the game and put it in here. But if you installed it, maybe it's in your downloads folder or something, put it in the folder you want it to be in, and then this is the directory that we're going to use for the non-Steam game. So on the bottom left, just click Add Game, Non-Steam Game. Let this load for a second, and once this is loaded, click Browse. And then you want to navigate to wherever your game is located. I was already in this location previously, so I remembered where I was. But just find your game and click on the executable. And then add select the programs. And then it's going to be... the application is going to be whatever the name of the exe is. So in my case, it's just going to be Walrus Run without the space. We could change the name to anything we want. So I'll just do Demo 5000. Why not? Okay. And then you can always just double check. Yep, this is on the right exe. And this folder, make sure this is in the right folder. It should automatically adjust this, but if not, you can adjust it to the root folder manually like this. And then in Controller, you see that? It's on default settings. You want to make sure Enable Steam Input is ticked, and you should be good to go. You can test it out right away by clicking the play button and trying out the game. Alright, so in Walrus Run specifically, you can enter Bongo mode by holding down a Bongo pad. In fact, let me turn on my Bongo camera. So in Walrus Run, you can enable Bongo mode by holding down a Bongo button once you've mapped the inputs, of course, like this. And of course, on a controller or keyboard, you can use the keyboard. So I can just press space right here and hold that down, no problem. You can also click on the buttons too, but just for demonstration's sake, I'll go ahead and hold down a button. And we are now in the game. So what you can do is just open up a level real quick and make sure the controls actually work. So bottom left should be move left, bottom right should move right. Dash right should be up here, dash left up here, both of them to jump, and then there you go. And pause button. Congratulations, the game now works with the bongos. You can play the whole game with the bongos through Steam Input. And that was how to set up the DK Bongos to play games on your PC using Steam Input. Now, as a quick disclaimer, it is possible to play, well, with the bongos and just GameCube controllers like that on PC without Steam Input, but it is a much more complicated setup, and there are various ways to do it. For example, you could set up a virtual joystick with VJoy, you could remap the inputs to a Xbox 360 input, and there's also other GameCube adapter softwares that literally translate the inputs to PC inputs for you, such as the Wii U GCN adapter by Massive, as well as Delfinovin. I wasn't able to get those working without using Steam Input, but it is possible if you can figure it out on your own. but it is a much harder setup. So my recommendation is please use Steam input and a Mayflash adapter for the best possible results. It is possible to, you know, use alternatives to Steam input. The setup is much harder though and beyond the scope of this video, but I did just want to point out that if you don't want to use Steam for whatever reason, it is possible to use the bongos on PC, but it is much harder. And with that, that is the end of the tutorial. Thank you everybody for watching, and if you're watching because you were setting up the bongos to play Walrus Run, I appreciated that a ton. I hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, or you can join my Discord server and ask for help in one of our Bongo chats. I believe we have a Bongo help chat. If you want to ask me or anybody else need help setting it up, we'll totally help you out if we can. Walrus Run will be part of Sage 2024, which means starting September 6th of 2024. You can go to our itch.io page and download a free demo of Walrus Run if you want to use this tutorial to help set up the bongos when the game comes out and try out the game with the bongos. I'm looking forward to see how everyone, you know, feels about the game playing it with the bongos. That's what they were designed for. So let me know how the experience is, how you like the game, how fun the bongos are to use, I guess. And on October 14th this year, we will be part of Steam Next Fest. So that means October 14th, you can download a demo off of Steam as well. That means, you know, you can download the Steam version and use Steam input that way if you wanted to as well. And the full game will release on Steam and itch.io on November 5th, 2024. So if you're interested in supporting the game, please give it a wish list on Steam. It would mean the world to me. And I'll also leave some other links below, such as my website, YouTube channel, Discord, Twitter, you know, if you want to support the game, you know, I would absolutely appreciate that. And with that, that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, everybody.